Well, there are a number of good things in this encyclical. I like, for example, the way that it engages the question of the relationship between the human person and the natural environment. That has some significant background in the work of Benedict XVI and John Paul II when it came to talking about the theme of human ecology. And human ecology is the idea that there's this natural law that permeates human existence, and that we have to respect just as much as we respect the laws of nature that we find in the natural environment. On some more specific subjects, I think it's useful that the Pope points out that population growth is not an impediment to economic development, and population growth is not a cause of economic degradation. Those are ideas, I think, that fly pretty much directly in the face of what might be called the environmental internationalista NGO approach to these sorts of questions. I also think that the Pope says some interesting things about business. He also talks about business as a vocation and the need, of course, for business to take seriously its own particular environmental responsibilities. In terms of critiquing the encyclical, from the standpoint of economics, and particularly from the standpoint of free market economics, I think there's a number of weaknesses in this document. I think, for example, there's a tendency to present a caricature of the market economy. It's almost as if the encyclical portrays the economy as something that's out there and that's somehow responsible in a type of direct way for so many of our social, economic, and environmental problems. And I think, for example, that that's at best a simplistic understanding of the way that the economy affects the environment. It also ignores the fact that the worst environmental degradation that was caused by economic activity in the 20th century, for example, was caused by centralized state-planned economies in the former Eastern Europe and the former Soviet Union. If you go to these countries, if you go to these parts of the world, they are suffering from extreme environmental degradation, and that goes directly back to the Soviet period. But this is not mentioned in the entire encyclical.